my sister and friends talked about how I'm not good enough for my boyfriend. They don't know I heard and I don't know what to do. Firstly, my sister and this group of friends are what I would consider my closest friends. I love this girls to death. I literally tried to donate a kidney for one of them. I am 100% heartbroken. My BF is an amazing guy, kind, funny, smart as hell, and pretty much a model. He's just gorgeous. And asexual. This isn't a problem to me, and we worked it out. He's also very open to it and everyone knows, which I entirely support. We were supposed to hang out a week ago, but after spending about half an hour his job called him and he had to leave. This didn't bother me a lot BC. I had a killer headache and went home. My sister and I share an AP. To save money, and we have a year-long lease, so I guess I'm screwed. Long story short, I closed my door, didn't light up and got a nap. Next thing I know, I wake up to my sister voice. She and those friends were at our house. From what I heard they were going to a club and were drinking a bit / waiting for the others. I didn't get up BC, I was lazy and would have to put pants. Then they started talking about me. I'm not proud, but I was curious. They were talking about how they couldn't believe I was dating my BF, how he was too good for me, how I was too ugly to get a guy like him. My sister then started telling how being asexual is obviously an excuse to not have sex with me. I'm not pretty, and while it does makes me insecure, I know I have other good characteristics, but it was very hard hearing that. They also made fun of my learning disability, they kaye the R word, which I can't even fucking write it. That I wasn't even financially stable, made fun of my job. They said I had to beg to be fucked. All of my friends laughed and all of them shit-talked me. I was crying pretty hard at that point. They left and I didn't know what to do. I went to bed and basically made myself scarce this week. I get up earlier, get home later, or stay at my BF. I have answered their messages but was somewhat cold. I know I have to talk with them, even if it's to just cut off contact, but I can't open my mouth right now. I feel so ashamed and sad. My BF is also worried, but I can't get what they said from my head. I know it's not true, and my BF is asexual, but I feel like I'm not worth being with him. My sister is my best friend. I fucking told her how I feel too ugly and stupid to be with him. I showed her our messages, and we spoke about his asexuality. I love her so much it hurts. I can't stand looking at her knowing she was saying those on my back, and that none of my friends said anything. I just don't know what to do. I could break my lease, I guess, even though it would be very expensive, but I don't know how to say why I'm doing it or how I can face them. I don't know if I should tell my BF. TLDR, my sister and friends mocked me for not being good enough for my BF. They don't know I heard them and I don't know what to do. Edit, I can't begin to explain how much you guys rock. Thank you so much for all the advice, support and tough love, it has truly helped me, and it warms my heart to see so many people taking their time to write to a stranger on the internet. I'm trying to respond to all the comments, but if I haven't, please know I have read it and considered. I promise I will talk with my boyfriend tomorrow, we are going to his place, and I'll probably just show him this post. Edit 2, hey guys, again, thank you so much for all the messages and well wishes. It truly made a moment of pain more bearable, and it made me feel better to know there are so many of those who care. I really need to sleep now, but will do my best to respond to the comments tomorrow. Thanks everyone. Update. Hey everyone, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for the messages and comments on my last post, it truly helped me get off the bed and face the day. I showed my BF the last post BC, I just didn't know how I could say it. He was very sad and disappointed, but being asexual he has had his fair number of assholes, but he mostly felt angry for me and agreed with the majority of advices that I should confront her. We decided a letter would be the best choice since I actually write a lot of letters and it's not direct confrontation. I like writing letters for moments, like letters for when the person is sad, happy, angry, scared, etc. So I do have some technique, but this was, with no doubt, the hardest things I ever wrote. I decided to go for the simple and blunt. Told her I heard what they said about me, and while I was willing to work on our relationship, I needed distance from her and this whole situation. I talked with my landlord, lady, and she was super sweet and had no problem breaking the lease. I offered to find someone to take up my place, but apparently she has someone that could use the room, so that's cool. I intended to pack and leave the letter on her bed, but she came home early and caught me. I basically said fuck it to myself and told her I heard them saying I wasn't good enough and calling me names. First she tried to deny, which I wasn't having it, then she tried to justify and say I was overreacting, but I just stared at her. Then she finally started to apologize and cry. At that moment I actually thought we might be able to save the relationship, but then she started making herself the victim. The main points were: 1. I just can't understand how hard it is to be pretty, not even kidding. 2. I don't understand how she feels, BC I'm used at not being the best. 3. It's not fair I get a gorgeous BF, who is completely out of my league while she's single. 4. She feels embarrassed when we go out together and she has to tell people that my BF is actually mine, not hers. 5. She knows asexuality doesn't exist and we're doing this just for attention. I just kind of froze. I wish I had said something, but I couldn't open my mouth. She then said she was going out to recover from our traumatic conversation and left. I just packed the rest of my things and left the letters on her bed. I'm currently at my BF's place, but I'm looking for a free room that is not super far from my job. I also wrote and sent letters to my friends and then blocked their social media/contacts. I'm certain they'll find a way to approach me as we work close, but I can't give a fuck. Besides all of that, last Friday I had dinner with my parents. I gave them an edited version of what happened. BC I don't want to talk about my sex life, and that I broke the lease/blocked my friends. They said I shouldn't be angry, BC it was true, and that the first time they met my BF, they thought I was playing a prank. My dad then started saying I was being selfish by breaking the lease and, I shit you not, betraying my sister trust and that you don't do this with family. So yeah, I've been ignoring them since this happened, as well as my sister. Overall, I'm fine. I actually feel more tired than angry or sad. TLDR, talked with my BF, it went well. Talked with my sister, didn't go well. Moved out. Talked with my parents, they said I'm selfish. Relevant comments. Deleted. This is a little bit off topic, but I'm curious as to how your relationship dynamic works with your boyfriend. I don't know too much about asexuality, you mentioned you have a disability, so if it isn't too personal for me to ask, how does your relationship work? How do you go about a sex life? I don't mean to be offensive or nosy, so apologies in advance, I'm just curious, smiley face. OOP. Don't worry. Asexuality is a scale, like the hetero/gay. At one side you have the asexual and on the other, the allosexual. Between you have different shades of gray. Some people don't feel sexual attraction but don't really care about having sex if it makes their partners happy. Some really don't want to do it. Some only feel sexual attraction for those they have an emotional connection. It's a very diverse community. As for the obstacles of dating an asexual man, I guess it mostly falls into what you consider a deal breaker. What are your needs, ECT? I can live without sex. I can live happy without sex. Again, it's about compromise. There are other things in my relationship that are more important to me than sex, and they are being met, so I'm happy. I guess it just goes down to, if you can't date someone without sex, that's okay. If you can, that's okay too. The only wrong thing is to start shitting rules. OOP on if her parents always treated her sister as the golden child. I checked it out, some of the links people sent me, and I believe they did. Things like having to give her my clothes if she liked them or having to eat her food if she didn't want any more. I don't know, I can see how some of the things they did were terrible, but saying they were abusive sounds too extreme.
Ada for abruptly cutting my ex-fiancé out of my life? I am 25, met my now ex-fiancé in my first year of college. We were both 18 and went from friends to lovers pretty quickly. We clicked so well, and everything was so easy and effortless. We had a really good relationship. It's the kind of relationship that everyone wishes they were in. The kind of relationship that people idolized and said if those two broke up, then love doesn't exist. You get the picture. For the purpose of this post, let's call my ex Ashley. Ashley was everything I was looking for in a woman. Funny, smart, attractive, down-to-earth and family-oriented. She wanted to build a life together. Our families got close over the course of our relationship. It was like we were already one big family before even getting married. As planned, I popped the question a year ago not knowing that this would change everything. She said yes, of course, but things started to change. Slowly but surely, over the months, she became more distanced. I tried to ignore it and chalk it up to nervousness. You know, cold feet before taking the big marriage plunge. I should have trusted my instincts. She always went out with her group of friends on the weekends. I've been on these outings before. Usually it's clubbing and drinking. It's not my scene, but I trusted my girl, so I had no problem with her going without me. These outings became much more frequent after I popped the question. I tried to ignore my gut feeling that something was wrong about this. I should have listened. Last week I get a text from one of her girlfriends. She said she feels super guilty about what's been going on. According to her, Ashley has been worried about getting married. She feels that she hasn't had a chance to explore other options, and the prospect of getting locked down for life made her really anxious. On these outings, she will frequently flirt with guys, dance with them, grind on them, make out with them, to get it out of her system. Since she wasn't having sex with them, she didn't consider it cheating. According to the friend, she also gave one guy a BJ in the club bathroom. She sent me pictures and videos from some of those escapades. My heart sank. I felt like I died that day. I thanked the friend for telling me and told her to keep it between us. For me, any form of cheating is a big no-no. I knew it was over. What makes this worse is that I have a past with cheating. She knows about my high school ex who cheated on me, and being a stupid teenager, I tried to end it all. This just makes this whole situation cut even deeper. She knows how much hurt she could cause, and still went ahead with it. I wanted to crawl into bed and cry for a month. I wanted to be weak. I felt weak. I decided I would give myself the chance to mourn and cry over this after I protect myself. Me and my fiancé share an apartment that we both pay rent for 50/50ths. I decided to take 2 days off work and covertly started to move my things out to my brother's house across the city. He knows about everything and immediately offered his place to me. The first day, I moved non-essential items out. When Ashley got back from work, she made a comment about it, but I brushed it off by saying I sold some stuff and took some more stuff to a storage unit to tidy and clear space up in our apartment. She didn't question it. I was furious on the inside about everything that I found out about, but kept cool to avoid suspicion. She noticed I was a bit withdrawn, but I told her I was just tired and stressed from work. The second day, while she was at work, my brother and his wife came over to help me pack everything else, and I was fully moved out by 3 p.m. that day. Since then, I have avoided every single form of communication sent by my ex. I have completely cut her off. I refuse to talk to her or her family. I don't even want to confront her about what happened. She came home that day and saw everything was gone. She texted all my friends and family, who in turn texted me, but I only responded to my parents, who are fully behind me and my decision. Her family and friends are blowing up my phone and saying that I'm an for leaving without a word. They've even been blasting me on social media. I don't really care. She knows what she did. To me, she is dead. She doesn't exist. Because of all this backlash, my brother and his wife are now also questioning if it was right of me to completely ignore everyone. This has caused me to doubt myself a bit. So here I am. Ada? Update. An overwhelming amount of people have convinced me to reach out to her parents and give them an explanation to clear my name. I will update when I get a chance to tomorrow. Thank you for the responses. Comments. NTA for cutting her out, but honestly, you need to tell everyone she cheated. No point taking the blame for what she caused. Tell them, block them, move on. Link. NTA. Fiancé giving blowjobs in bathrooms to random dudes? Now, dump and block is the only thing to do. Link. OOP was voted NTA. Update. After an overwhelming amount of people screamed at me in the comments to speak out, I decided to break my silence. I didn't want to make this whole thing public. Despite what she did, some part of me still cares for her. I was with her for 6 years. You can't just throw that away overnight. I came to the conclusion that the right thing to do was to talk to her parents. Only her family needed to know. Everyone else can have whatever opinion they want of me. I don't care. The people who truly know me and are close to me are the only ones I care about. I sent a detailed message of what happened to my closest friends and family. All of them, of course, believed me right away. No pictures needed. I didn't feel like it was necessary or appropriate to spread those pictures of her, so I didn't. Now that the people I cared about were sorted, I moved on to her parents. I messaged her mom, who by the way I had gotten so close to I considered her a second mom and she considered me a son. She was very upset with me, but agreed to meet up. I felt like this needed to be an in-person conversation rather than a nuke I drop in an email with everyone they know CC'd. I met her mom and her dad at a diner we used to frequent for breakfast. I know, so cliché. It was quite emotional. They were understandably upset. They didn't do anything wrong and I cut them out of my life like nothing happened. I understood why they were upset, so when they were confronting me I was very quiet, just listening, letting them get it all out. I admit I was tearing up with them. That is until they accused me of some things. It's been a whole week since all of this went down. In that week, a lot happened. Apparently, according to her parents, my ex convinced everyone that I cheated and that SHE kicked me out, and I haven't been answering anyone because I was so ashamed of what I had done. LOL. I literally laughed out loud. I responded by saying that I am sorry, and I wished them a happy life and walked out. I was so fucking upset I couldn't even have imagined of being accused of this. What a fucking joke. I can't believe her parents would believe her and throw me under the bus so fast. I walked out because I'm pretty sure I would have said some things I'd regret to her parents. I didn't want to do this, but she left me no choice. I activated the nuclear option. I went home, made an email titled "For Your Reading Pleasure," and attached every picture her friend sent me, including screenshots of the chat with her friend where she expressed how guilty she felt about the cheating. I also attached the videos of her grinding and making out with other guys. I included a long explanation detailing everything that has happened since D-Day. I ended the email by saying that I do not wish to be contacted and that I expect my ring back at some point. I attached her parents, any friend I could think of, and a coworker that I just so happened to know as well. Fuck it. So that's where I'm at now. I may be the asshole for sending that email, but she really tested my fucking limits when I found out what she was telling people. I have zero regrets. Currently crashing at my brother's place on the pull-out couch. He's helping me get through this, as much as one can I guess. Who knows what kind of fallout that email will create. Either way, I'm gonna sit back and enjoy it with popcorn, while sobbing. Update. I wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone that reached out to me and offered kind words of support and advice. The reason it took me 2 months to be able to come back here and write an update is because so much has happened in such a short span of time that even I'm having trouble processing it. The fallout after I sent that nuke of an email was catastrophically hilarious. My phone was blowing up with my ex's friends and family asking me tons of questions. Before I had sent that email, everyone was under the impression that I was a cheater and was kicked out. That email not only cleared my name, it basically turned everyone against my ex. Rumors of what had happened started circulating at her job. I attached one of her coworkers to the email if you remember from my last update. Apparently, she couldn't take the embarrassment and ended up quitting. Her parents were less than impressed and refused to take her back in. They reached out to me and apologized for the way things went down. They recognized that they didn't have all the facts and judged me too quickly. I'm cool with them now. They told me that my ex was struggling to make payments for her half of the rent. When I covertly moved out, I contacted our landlord and explained the situation. We only had 3 months left on the lease, so I paid my half for those 3 months, so I'm in the clear. Honestly, it was worth it even though I'm not living there. Our mutual friends also didn't take too kindly to being lied to and basically being manipulated to hate me. From what I've heard, most of our shared friends don't talk to her anymore. Even some of her girlfriends who knew what had been happening behind my back stopped talking to her, which is a little ironic if you ask me. I guess now that everything was public, no one wanted to be associated with her. And speaking of her friends, remember the one that initially came forward to me about this because she felt so bad? Yes, so we're dating now. I guess through all the trauma, drama, and craziness, we started texting more and more. At first, she was just very supportive. She comforted me, and helped me come to terms with what happened. But slowly and surely, we became closer and closer and started to talk about our lives, our interests, our dreams. We realized we had a lot in common. We are also both single and young. We kinda just fell right into it naturally. She's honestly so great, very kind and loving. I am aware that some people may think this is just a rebound, but I'm really enjoying my time with her and things are going great. I feel great. Since everything went down, I have had no contact with my ex. I've heard through multiple friends that she is livid that I ghosted her and won't even talk to her. She says what I'm doing to her is torture because I won't even give our relationship closure. I just laughed because if she thinks what I'm doing is torture, then she's clueless about what she put me through. I'm honestly good. I will go the rest of my life without ever talking to her again. Call me petty. Call me dumb. I am who I am, and I feel this is right. As for me, life is looking good. I'm dating an amazing girl. I've gotten so much support from my family and friends. It's nice to see who the real ones are. You know, the ones that actually stuck with me throughout this whole ordeal. And best of all, I feel like I'm really moving on from this whole thing. Hope this update gives you all closure. So many of you messaged me needing an update. It just took me a sec to gather myself to be able to write this in the midst of all this craziness. Take care of yourselves. Joey Spaghetti Eye. Comment. Did you get the ring back? OP. I did. I had to threaten legal action. My ex was stubborn, but I ended up getting my ring back through her parents, LOL.